Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. That thing moving? Okay, it's pretty slow. Koryx copper. Whoa. Our previous name was Deep South Resources, and it's still there, so sorry for that. We have two projects area. One advanced project in the south of Namibia, and it's 850 million ton at 0.31% copper. The last PEA showed an NPV of 1.3 billion US with a IRR after tax of 36%. At $3.50 per copper. We also have some licenses in Zambia where we hold 51% with an option to acquire 80%. It's in three very large exploration permits. It's very greenfield compared to what we have in Namibia. I'll just jump on some time to time to go to the most important part because the time is of the essence. We have 200 million shares issued, no debt, $500,000 in cash at the moment. Our largest shareholder is Teck Resources with 12%. Myself and another director, we hold about 6%. There's 9% that is held by some institutions. So it's a pretty solid share structure. I will jump over the copper presentation. I think everybody understands that copper is probably the king commodity for the next 30 years. Without copper, you don't have any communication, you don't have any transportation, you don't have any cloud data storage. So, we can continue like this. Copper is really crucial for the economy in the next 30 years. Hyde Copper is a massive property, 370 square kilometers in the south of Namibia. It's amenable to low-cost metal extraction technologies. And as I said before, we had a strong PEA that has been issued in 2021. It's very well situated. It's on the south of Namibia, nearby the Orange River, which makes the border between South Africa and Namibia. We are pumping water from the river for our drilling operation. It will be the same for the eventual production. There's the main road coming from Cape Town, crossing all Namibia, crossing the western edge of our concession, low voltage power line along that road, and there's a high voltage grid about 80 kilometers to the east. So infrastructure-wise, it's extremely well situated. The first company that has explored systematically in the project was Rio Tinto early in the 70s. They drilled 45,000 meters. At the time, they were considering that as a typical porphyry like you find in the Andes in Chile and Peru. So for them, it's type of deposit where the grade is fairly even all over the depositional area, and grade is not controlled by structure. So what they did is they drilled vertical holes, wide space by 150 meters, and that's it. They were chasing tonnage. There was other companies that came on the project over time. The Teck Resources in the mid-2010s have drilled 15,000 meters, nearly in the same orientation than what Rio Tinto did. And we ended up with a resource estimation of near 1 billion ton of ore at 0.31% copper in the indicated zone. And this porphyry is probably not similar to what we have in the Andes. In the Andes, the deposits are 200 million years old or less. This one is 1.8 billion years old. So over time, it has transformed a lot. And it's certainly not similar to what we have in the Andes. And as such, what we did when we took over the project from Teck, we walked the project and we have identified tens of structures that were never mapped anywhere. It's clear. All the black lines you see on that sketch there are structures that we have identified, and most of them are shears, faults, quartz vein, and most of them are vertical or subvertical. So when you do vertical drilling, wide space by 150 meters, of course, you will miss a lot of these structures. So what we decided to do is to drill across these structures because we were thinking that maybe the grade has been underestimated because these structures have never been taken into consideration. And guess what? First drill hole, 150 meters, 0.47% copper equivalent with 30 meters at 0.81%. And it goes like this nearly every hole, 0.65% on 36 meters, 0.42%, going up to 2.37%, which is the highest grade we have ever seen on that project. So that has confirmed one thing. The grade was seriously underestimated by the way it was drilled. So we, this year we continue to drill. At the moment we're drilling in the structures and we have the same type of results. So we're on our way to increase the grade substantially. The other thing that was also important with the low grade project, the other companies before were looking at a grinding, milling, flotation, roast leaching circuit, and it was marginal. It was making money, but marginal. So we've looked at other technologies to end out making tests with heap leaching, bio-heap leaching, and it was turning out to be very good, 95% recovery. We've tested also high-pressure grinding rollers to replace grinding and milling, and that works extremely well also. It's very efficient, but way lower capex. And what we do is that we will bring the material down to 5 millimeters with the HPGR, crushing in HPGR, and that the below 5 millimeter down to 2.5 millimeters is going to go to the heap leach, and the fine material will go to flotation and roast leaching. The advantage of flotation and roast leaching is cash flow generation is quicker, and we will recuperate about 60% of the copper in with that circuit. So it's a blend, a combination of technologies that is extremely efficient for that type of ore, but it's very low capex compared to grinding, milling, and all the big kit. In February 2021, we produced a PEA based on bio-heap leaching and high-pressure grinding rollers only. Flotation and roast leaching was not included at the time. We used only the indicated resource we were having, 400 million ton. The average grade, 0.31%. The strip ratio, very low at 1.41 to 1. We used copper recovery of 80%. Even if our tests were showing 95%, in stack on site, it's for sure that you will lose some recovery. The rule of thumb is normally 5 to 7%, but we want to play it safe. We got it down to 80%. The operating costs, $1.34 per pound or $7.65 per ton. And the capex at the time, $341 million instead of $1 billion, because the technology we use is simpler. So it gave some very interesting economics at $3.50 per pound of copper, 1.3 billion. The NPV after tax is 1.3 billion US, and the after-tax IRR 36%. And with the capex, as I said, of 340 million, it's a very good return. Now, when we will, at the moment we are drilling, we will have a new resource estimation, most probably at the end of May, early June. And at that time, after that, we will update that PEA. It will include the flotation and roast leaching of the fine. So for sure, the capex will go higher, and also with the inflation since 2021. So we estimate probably around $500 million US will be the new capex, but the grade will go higher. So with a higher grade, it probably will not have a big influence on the economics that you see there. We will probably be in the same range. So that's our license in Zambia, that are very well situated right in the middle of the copper belt, the Zambian side of the copper belt. At the moment, we are busy on the Luanshya West project. That the others have never seen any drilling or even exploration work, yes, but we don't have any data on that. Luanshya West is extremely well situated on the same geology in a mine called Luanshya, which is a copper cobalt producer. It's the largest cobalt mine in Zambia. We're on the same geology, and we have the same type of result from our soil sampling, where we see a high content in cobalt. That's what is specific to Luanshya. We decided to do a sampling program, and we identified from that 10 large copper anomalies and 13 large cobalt anomalies. We have recently completed some geophysical survey, induced polarization, IP, and the idea was to define the depth of these anomalies. Now it's ready for drilling. We have good targets for that. So the first step will probably to be around 2,000 meters of reverse circulation drilling to test these anomalies. So as you can see, compared to the Hype Copper project, here we're in very greenfield territories, but we're in elephant country. Around these projects, you have the largest mines, copper mines in Africa. There's 9 very large copper mines surrounding these licenses. So we're really in elephant territories, and that's what we are, elephant hunters. So we're currently drilling up to 5,000 meters. With that, a part of the cores will be used to do more HPGR, flotation, rose leaching, and bio-e-leaching metallurgical test work. We will have a 43-101 resource estimation, as I said, in May, followed by an updated PEA. And we're currently advancing an environmental and social impact assessment. The idea at the end of that is that we will start a feasibility study somewhere during 2024 with the idea of applying for a mining lease within 2 years and a half time. In Zambia, we are just awaiting some 3D modeling to finalize the drilling definition. We are a highly experienced team in Africa. Our COO has 30 years of experience, mainly in DRC, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Our exploration vice president and resource development vice president, both of them are South African, 45 years of experience in Africa, and 30 years, the other one, in Africa also. And I'm specialist in Namibia. I'm dealing only in Namibia since 1996. So we have a very, very good technical team. So that's who we are.